Doing a quick breakdown on Brady Day. If you go back and watch the original breakdown that I did of her, I got pretty in depth as far as I had this timer up, and I used I used the angles and looked at a bunch of stuff very precisely. I'm not going to do too much of that today. That was more so for her, just to kind of understand exactly what I meant by some of that stuff. Today I want to take just a quick look at some positioning and stuff like that. This is a good rep of hers right here. This is a good video. So I'm just gonna run through this really fast. Maybe look at a few things that we can do a little bit better. I don't see a ton in this video, but we're just gonna check out what she's doing here. Now, one thing that I really like, and I think it's a very underrated aspect of, pitching and hitting, especially because, you're matching up against somebody, so you kind of have some time to stand, to basically be in like a readied stance. So I really like the idea of being in a stance that looks like you are ready to go. And whereas before with her, we were kind of sitting there like shoulders slouched a little bit, and just that there's somewhat of like an intimidation factor, just making your opponent know that like you're ready to roll. So I like how she's standing here like this. I mean, good stance through here, good posture. So I dig that a lot. Going into the actual motion here. Good job. I think honestly we might be able to wait just a little bit longer. You can see how your arms are peaking right there. Now there's a certain bit of separation that you kind of gotta, like, you start forward and you let your arms come after, but I think we can wait maybe just a little bit longer back there and let those arms hit that back, and then kind of bring them a little bit more together. I think that would create just a little bit more explosion, momentum, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, one thing that makes me really happy is this right here. How well her foot turns over. You can see that it's kind of hard to probably see on the phone that I'm videoing with. But right there, her foot is like completely turned over. And this foot right here, so that, let's see, that foot turns over, and that foot is almost completely in the ground. It's just a little bit, it's got just a little ways to go. Right there, it's in the ground. So that is the position I'm talking about as far as being quick from the back to the front and not having a bunch of this in there. We're getting very much direct. So that's a good job by her. Another thing that you can see, actually I don't know how well you can see, like I said, on the phone I'm videoing with, but by her turning that foot over, her back hip is starting to turn into this one, creating this, and that arm is still back behind her. We can kind of see her, we can see like her shoulder axis right here. And that right there is turning, so that's good. We've got, with that going that way and that going that way, we basically have started to create this torque in here in her midsection. So great job there. Going into the actual throw where she releases the ball, one thing that I really like is she was very much it was just a lax finish. It just wasn't explosive. Things were not coming forward forcefully. I always compare to a car like slamming on its brakes. Look at that. Boom, comes in right there. I mean, so now we've kind of got this right here, right? We've got like that kind of form to her body just because she's coming in so hard to this firm front leg, and it's firm. Look at that. Before, no joke, she used to literally like she would have her head like back like that, just because her midsection would just kind of pop out, and then it just wasn't forceful, especially when your head's stuck back there. I mean, you got to be coming in to that. So that right there is a very good job by her. like I said, I'm not more so the off season stuff. Like when we start to make like drastic changes, I'll get kind of back into, putting the timer up and looking at angles and stuff like that. But for now, I understand that she's throwing well. The thing for her is just going to continuously, it's going to be to continuously try to just become more explosive all the time. She's a great athlete. I've heard she's lightning fast, so we need that type of athleticism and explosiveness to translate into her pitching delivery, and she's going to be even more lights out than she already is. So I'll get some more video of her maybe in the facility with me this next week, or some more game footage of her, and I'll get it up on the channel.